avoiding confusion with your domain name. So your domain name from an SEO perspective, Michael, and you can back me up here or contradict me if you want to, but I would say it used to be really important for SEO, but not like you used to be able to go get Milwaukee locksmith and you show up for Milwaukee
you'd be number one right away.
So it's not as important as it used to be, but if you can use it in your URL, it's still helpful. Would you agree with that part of it?
I think for SEO wise, I would say having good keywords in your domain is not a bad thing. But I would say that now that's not so much because of search engines as much as maybe the user.
Right.
Yeah.
It signals to them like what you do as
a business,
I'm on
the right track, or this is what I'm looking for.
And one of them, and another thing we could talk about is just avoiding confusion in the name itself. So a good example here would be like, let's say you have a mowing, a lawnmower,
a commercial lawnmower manufacturing company,
and let's say it's called Smith Mowers.
Yep.
Or let's say the company is called Smith Manufacturing, but you make mowers. You don't want to use a domain name like Smith Manufacturing or Smith MFG, like an abbreviation. That's confusing for the user,
right?
And people don't know what MFG means. They think it's an acronym for something else. Better to go with something like Smith Mowers, or maybe Smith commercial mowers, or Smith residential mowers, or however you want to do it. And the reason is because it confuses the user, and it's sometimes it's hard to remember. That's another thing to think about when you're naming your URL, is that the more you abbreviate things and truncate things and add dashes, and it becomes really hard for people to like remember your website and go to it. And that's what you want, especially when you're building your brand. Like everybody knows how to get to Apple computers. They go to apple.com, you know? So as much as you can, think about people remembering your domain and going directly to it. And that's really important. And related to that is think about, especially now, think about when you're in the naming stage of your company, early on, think about your domain. You probably want to get a .com, and if the name of your company or a variation of it, or an augmentation of it, like let's say like Smith Mowers or something like that, if all of those are taken and you can't think of a domain that makes sense, you might want to actually think of a different name. So it's that important. Like that real estate is that important. If all of your options are taken up, you might want to continue exploring names for the company to see what's available. So it is that important. And if you think about it early enough, you can give yourself leeway, so you're not stuck with a weird domain that you then have to change, or maybe somebody else has squatted on the domain, you got to buy it for like $10,000 or something like that. So that's step item number 1 here is avoid confusion with your domain name and get it right the first time.
Yeah, that's right. That's good.